This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of the top 3 NASCAR series, send them through the N ratings algorithm, set them up by their provisional lineups, and set the forecast as they will be on race day, and we see what the computer says will be the finishing order on race day. In the Xfinity race, it was AJ Allmendinger taking the checkered flag and locking himself into the championship 4, followed by Jeb Burton, teammate who was recently eliminated from the playoffs, Justin Allgaier, Austin Cindric, and Jeremy Clements also up there in the top 5. Several of the playoff contenders up there in the top 10. However, trouble for Brandon Jones, who was caught up with some troubles later on. Also, plenty of mechanical issues for drivers like John Hunter Nemechek falling all the way to the back. It is now time for the start of the round of 8. The championship grid is narrowing down. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin starting up front, and the green flag is out here at Texas. Larson gets a good jump on the initial start, able to get in front of Denny Hamlin. Drivers are definitely going to want to prefer that middle line in turns 1 and 2 as the race progresses, but the 5 car got the better jump and he is out in front for now. Best average finish among the active drivers here today, Tyler Reddick. Runner-up in his debut in a Cup car here to his teammate Austin Dillon, who had gotten the victory that day. Came in 15th in the second race here. Win-wise, it is Kyle Busch that leads the way. 4 victories for him at this racetrack, shortly followed by Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. If you're looking in the short term, the past 6 races, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick tied at 2 apiece. They both have some pretty solid average finishes in that span. Got a battle for the lead here. It's Ryan Blaney to the inside of Kyle Larson. These two battled at Atlanta earlier this year in March. Blaney came out on top with the victory, and that was obviously a similar configuration to what we got here in Texas. Kyle Busch leading the way on top 5s. Kevin Harvick just behind 12 for him. He's currently in the 7th spot, looking to make an advance on the 11 car, who's kind of trapped on the outside there, but should get the better run on the outside. Kurt Busch leading the way with Harvick in top 10s, 23 for him. Not having a great day so far. Outside the top 10 at the moment. Looking to see if he can pop his way in there. Looks like he's just behind Chase Elliott in that 10th position. Ryan Blaney getting right up to the back end of Anthony Alfredo, but looks like he'll stay on that inside line because he's coming down for his green flag pit stop. He will be the first one among those leaders in, followed by Kyle Larson. Will come down for his service, and then Kyle Busch coming later on. You can see Kevin Harvick in the background as well, coming down for his service. And when they all cycle out, it's Ryan Blaney up at the front. Kyle Larson just on his tail, keeping him in close pursuit. Coming up on the back of the 18 car is Martin Truex Jr. Led a good amount of laps here. Kyle Busch the only one to lead more than 1,000 laps here among those that are entered today. 19 trying to see if he can fight his way up toward the front. But we come to the end of stage 1, and it is Kyle Larson out in front, followed by Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott also inside the top 10. Larson will lead the way to the restart. Obviously, he was able to get by Ryan Blaney to take that stage. Now it's a matter of seeing if he can go for the victory and get himself locked into the championship 4. Kevin Harvick is trying to make a move to the inside in 19. That's for the lead, and obviously controversy brewing over the past few weeks between Harvick and Chase Elliott. NASCAR has talked to both drivers on the same call, trying to see if they can keep that incident in the past. Harvick out of the playoffs, Elliott still in it. Denny Hamlin obviously going to be a driver to watch. He entered the playoffs winless on the season and then has won the first race of the round in the first 2 rounds. Going to see if he can continue that trend, however, showing kind of top 10 speed now after being top 5 earlier on. Joey Logano, curious case here for him. He fell a lap down after some trouble on pit lane, trying to build back spots. In trouble here on the front stretch. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. seems to slow down, running to the back by BJ McLeod, and Brad Keselowski with damage. 47 suddenly slowed on the front stretch. McLeod piled into him, and Keselowski was an innocent bystander. Some damage for the 2 car, however, he is still on the racetrack. And the 78 has really taken the brunt of that damage as he is slowing up the entire field. And coming up hot is Chase Elliott. He's going to turn Larson into the wall. A battle for the lead is going to end up in a wreck, and Chase Elliott going around further down the racetrack, and a big hit from Alex Bowman, and Larson is up and over. Kurt Busch also takes damage. Ryan Blaney also got a piece of that. Look at this from Chase Elliott's onboard, the speed differential, and he just comes right up on his teammates and turns him into the wall. And then he hits the wall and makes contact. I believe that was with Tyler Reddick as he goes for another spin, and someone hits him from behind again. Adding insult to injury, but terrible situation for Hendrick Motorsports. Already lost 2 of their drivers for the playoffs, and now the other 2 that are still in it wrecked each other. Obviously not with intent, but bad nonetheless. Here's one of those drivers that got eliminated, and there's contact in the turn with Christopher Bell. William Byron just hanging on to it. He's still up here in the top 5, but he's one of the only drivers that really has a shot at this one. Chase Elliott's still on the lead lap. He's in 8th position, but Larson's out, Bowman's out, and that's a bad situation for their playoff hopes. Kevin Harvick's going to cross the line to win Stage 2. Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., William Byron, Christopher Bell inside the top 5 on that one. Coming up on the final stage, and Harvick's up in front. We'll see if he is able to play spoiler to the playoff drivers, or if one of them is going to lock themselves into the championship 4. Oh, and more troubles with BJ McLeod. Still slow, and he's going to get hit by Chase Elliott once again. And the 78 goes around. Clearly, that thing needed to be parked a long time ago. Can't meet minimum speed, and it looks like the 78 has been parked for the day. They finally had enough with him holding up traffic. Kyle Busch has a little bit of damage on his left side. That's a bit of a storyline, and he is outside of the top 10 right now. That is going to be a loss in points for him. The defending winner of this second race. Technically, Texas only has 1 race now, but obviously later in the season, Kyle Busch got that victory last year. Christopher Bell has worked his way up to take the lead, and it looks like Denny Hamlin's going to take it right back. Bell fell out of the playoffs last round. And Keselowski going a lap down. He has some damage on his front end. We saw the accident he got caught up in earlier. And it looks like that's affecting his speed as he is going a lap down there to the leaders. Now we got some pit stops coming. Here comes Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and someone else up in front of him. I believe that was Hamlin. Here comes Blaney down for his service. And when we hit the track once again, it is Hamlin and Harvick battling it out. Harvick looking to see if he can get his first victory of the season. Prior to last year, he had won 3 straight November races in a row. Oh, trouble here out of 4. Ryan Blaney runs into Daniel Suarez. 12 car had more speed, and the 99 couldn't hold up. And they both go into the turn 4 wall. They're both going to drive away. But that's even more trouble for Blaney as he just tries to survive these final few laps, because obviously Larson is out. He is in a bigger hole now. Obviously, those playoff points are going to be a big factor for him staying in the hunt, but he doesn't want to finish that far down and not have anyone join him. We see Harvick here coming for the lead once again. Goes to the inside of Hamlin, and trouble here as David Starr goes around in turn 1 off the front end of Keselowski. Hits the wall with his back end and goes around for a few times, and he is back in the right direction. Now Harvick will take the restart. Coming up on the final few laps of this one. Blaney and Truex trying to draft right by him as the 4 car starting to drift back. Hamlin back out in front. A couple Toyotas getting back up toward the top. And Blaney trying to follow. Drivers coming up on Ryan Preece, who's a little bit slower. Blaney tries to go outside, and he's going to go around. Truex Jr. turns him into turn 1 wall. Caution flies once again as we approach the end of the race. Fortunate for Blaney, it's not fatal damage for him, but it's still a loss in position as he tries to get as many points as he can, and he was going for the victory that would clinch him into the next round. Coming to the restart, Bell had the lead, but Harvick is going to take advantage right away. Jumps to the inside. And while all of this is happening, Denny Hamlin coming down the pit lane. He's got a restart infraction. Looks like he passed too early, and he has to make a pass-through. That is going to set him back. He was on the lead lap. He's going to be a lap down now. And it's going to set him back several spots as Kevin Harvick tries to hold on. He's got a lot of room behind him. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, and Matt Benedetto are not for position. Christopher Bell is his closest competition, and he's got all of those lapped cars in between. Harvick has been looking for that victory all season long. Stewart-Haas Racing struggling incredibly, but this is Harvick's opportunity to take, and he is going to grab victory number 1 on the season. and that'll be his 4th victory at this racetrack. In fact, you think back and he had 3 straight in the November race. That streak got broken by Kyle Busch last season, and while this is technically the only Texas race of this season, it is at the near end of the season, so kind of count that as 4 out of the last 5 for Harvick in this race. Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, the top playoff contenders. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch finished the lap down, but they are also up there in the top 10. Denny Hamlin had that restart infraction. He got sent to 10th place as a result of making that pass-through penalty. Chase Elliott finishes 11th. Keselowski 14th. Both of them had damage on their race cars that kind of slowed them down a little bit, but they tried to get as many positions as they could, and they will get top 15 efforts as a result. And there were a few drivers that got taken out in accidents, and obviously the most notable is Kyle Larson, the only playoff driver to not finish the race, and that is a big blow for him, even though he has plenty of playoff points to fall back on. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed the race, and we will see you all next time.